Today is July 19th, 2026. Last night on the 18th, I went to go to work and uh, I went to open the door and the door was already closed and locked. And I was trying to find the code to get in there. And some idiot off in the dark. Don't hide off in the dark. Don't. Don't hide in woods and yell stuff at me. You freakers. I mean, you're freaks. Yelling stuff at me in the dark. I feel bad about everything. I found out she's a human trafficking victim. Like you didn't know. Oh, some attorney said they taped her before. Come on, we'll go talk to him. Oh, you mean the drugs and told us it in the Photoshop of Washington? Bill from the Freemasons, big scam. Huh? The biggest scammers. What part of drug dealers did this to me? All right, I told you. The other day, I took my grandson to counseling. He was fine when he walked in. When he left, he was rude. It happens again, he's not going back. And since then, he won't leave his room. Where I had talked to him that this whole thing is a drug scam. These people lie to you, realize everything's a lie. Where I had bruises, throwing up, and almost passing out. They were bragging they drugged me and told me to say horrible stuff. And that tape of Weird with Yourself, you didn't know about. We know we didn't know about it. We didn't know about anything. Okay? It's a scam. They thought they could take their scam with a fake, dirty doctor breaking HIPAA into the FBI and they would open a case and hand them the money. That never happened. I said the whole thing's a scam. Like Melissa's kids are mean games to pretend for that girl to get my house. I said, it's just mean jokes. Went over how, like on the 4th, they were an hour late. They took 2 bites out of their food. They were down there in the basement having pillow fights. They didn't come upstairs. Okay. And Tyler's like, you're right, they didn't come upstairs. Well, I already have his mom taped saying that, and Dave. And the police even have Daniel. Where these people laughed in my face. They're so asinine. They're supposed to Photoshop them coming upstairs, peeking in a bathroom door. I'm supposed to be putting yeast infection cream on sores from where I thought it was a well water. In fact, in my personal area. And they're supposed to be peeking in the cracks, making fun of me, saying she's weird with herself. Those children were like 5 to 8 years old. It wasn't even in their vocabulary. An adult would have to tell them to say that. They never came upstairs, and I was outside with everyone else. And when we went in, they left through the garage door because they were in a hurry. John just brought them by to stop by to see the house. They were only there about 45 minutes. Well, I seen them at the table. And see, that's where down in Tuscarawas County, they find out those kids are actually peeping in bathroom doors while people are taking care of their private area. They're going to put them in jail for being peeking Toms. They'll be listed sex offenders. Like investigators said, how dumb was that attorney's office photoshopping those kids being criminals? Oh, racing people out of the room. And it's all done by drug dealers. Not an attorney's office, drug dealers. Okay? All right. Well, when I took Daniel to counseling, it's right next, it's in the same building the FBI office in Belleville is in. He was fine, nice as he could be. He goes to counseling. He walks out. He's the meanest thing on earth. Talked to me like I was a servant, rude to me. And now he won't leave his room. I went to use the bathroom. There's some bitch in there talking to that Will guy, the big scammer, the Bill from the Freemasons, big scam. Well, what did she expect? Hmm? With her getting up, walking around after that family's tragedy. What did she expect them to do? I expected them to do the right thing. And when Strange made it up 6 months later, tell him not to involve our family's tragedy. I don't know what you have uh, wrong with Karen, but you're not involving us. I expected him to do the right thing. I expected him to have integrity, morals, and they would not participate. That family already admitted to the FBI March 27th, 25 to a federal agent. They were all lying to the FBI when they were in there. Never offended them. It didn't even concern them. Lisa's father killed her kid. Another investigator, March 20th, 26, in Walmart West Tusk by Electronic, called him out publicly. Haven't found one bit of this funny since that family confessed to a federal agent. They were all lying to the FBI to help them get away with it. They thought they were all stealing for Katie's family. You know that, right? They were in there conning them out of money. Now, I want you to think about this. Her father killed her kid, like they told the FBI. Lisa's father murdered their kid. She wasn't even there. It didn't even concern him. No, because, 6 months later, Strange could have called me a bank robber. He could have called me a prostitute. He could have called me any name in the world. Did it affect them and her father murdering her kid? No. It's not even connected. And then I told you what was wrong with me. Repeatedly. 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 From the endometriosis to all the surgeries, the kidney surgeries, muscles locking up, in so much pain. Couldn't stand it, went to a bunch of crackpots, gave me wrong medicine, falsely diagnosed me. My whole body swelled up, and now I have arthritis. And the fluid built up in my legs, pushed my knees right out of place. Fluid under the knees, fluid-filled cyst, growing on them. My knees would just slide right out. I have an MRI report of showing the arthritis. Tore muscles. The one diagnosis is microscopic fractures from the violent falls. That I couldn't even bend my knee at one point. I had seizures. I had heart attacks. Thyroid adrenal gland shut down. Those doctors almost killed me. And they were lying so bad they even said I had level 2 brain tumors. Before I let them remove part of my brain, I go to my community health. They said, whoa, the only thing's wrong with you is your muscles locked up from all those surgeries. Those doctors are known for lying. Falsely diagnosing people, ripping them off, making them sick. Getting kickbacks from the drug companies, and sharing them with their associates and friends for doing the same thing. The FBI arrest doctors for that. You do know that. Also for sharing people's information without proper consent. They shut hospitals and doctors' offices down for this. I went to Dr. Eli. He agreed, but the only way to get muscles to unlock is to move them. You're in so much pain, you can't move. Gave me fentanyl patches. I don't give fentanyl to fakers. The last stages of cancer. Some doctors only thought I had a few months to live from the wrong drugs. They almost killed me. And he gave me Vicodins and muscle relaxers. And first month I lost 30 pounds. With the 6 to 10 surgeries on my stomach and back, it was 2.5 years. Almost 2 years of medical malpractice where they almost killed me. And 9 to 10 months of slowly getting well. Okay? And They were rooting me on in April that I beat it on my own. See, that's where people said, even like in October 23, they went over and asked Lisa, was she getting well for a long time before she got well? And said yes. Nobody even thought about it when she finally got well. But when Strange said it, they all believed it. Because they're all mindless occult people. Mindless occult people. You've seen it with your own eyes. A 5-year ordeal. Seen it with your own eyes. But somebody told you a lie, so you believed it? How stupid are you? They were rooting me on that I beat it on my own. I didn't get well for 2 more months. Well, in the next 2 weeks, her father killed her kid, speeding at a high rate of speed, blew through a stop sign and hit a semi. Killed them both. I wasn't even there. I didn't finish getting well for 2 more months. It took me the total of 9 to 10 months to learn to walk again. With all that massive swelling, I already have arthritis. In my knees, degenerative joint disease, seen on an MRI. The fluid-filled cyst, the fluid under the knees, the swelling on the legs. You have arthritis, you have fluid, your knee's going to slide right out of place. Orthopedic surgeon put me in 3-pound braces each leg to hold my knee in place. Canes to stable myself. I kept draining my knees. And it took me 9 months to learn to walk again on 1 feet as the swelling went down. Learn balance again. And how dare they want sympathy when her father murdered her kid and all that minister did was lie to cover up his son's adultery. Had nothing to do with them. Oh, they act like they were waiting to say something to me. I dare them. I dare them. They're gonna get an earful. An earful. What the fuck would they say to me? You were rooting me on in April yourself. That I beat it on my own. I didn't get well for 2 months after that accident. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't murder your kid and stop taking your hurt and anger out on me. That had nothing to do with it. And it took me 9 months to get well of hardworking. Like you said, I see you out driving your car, doing your own grocery shopping, pulling yourself up and down street stores and malls. You'll beat this on your own. I had to work like crazy to learn to walk again and strengthen up my muscles and legs. Oh, there would be a lot of swearing and me putting them in their place. That they can't just go around having people harmed. And where that they confessed to the FBI. They were all in there lying, helping these people get away with it. So what would you be saying about your fucking lies? That it offended you. You're not God Almighty. You shouldn't be using your family's tragedy. Your father was a nice man, and your child was a sweetie. Was my son's best friend. And strangely made up that lie to cover up Tim and Katie. And then what are you going to say? Katie wants to say something? You know, the FBI and police have been around me for 7, almost 8 years. Do I say anything to her now? No. Do I have anything to do with her now? No. Nor did I before. See, that's where the whole thing of it is. You can go to the mall. You don't shop where somebody works. You have nothing to do with them. You don't go to their church. You have no contact. See, that's where when people said that she's supposed to have told people I threatened her, been rude, whatever, I hadn't even talked to her in 7 years. She lied. That's the family that they're trying to steal everything for. Lied. Lied. And the only way she'd know of Dave's mean joke back in 2011, that she wasn't even around. Wasn't even around. And that I dared laugh at a mean joke he said, where she wasn't even there. That I dared laugh. And 7 years before the case started. You know, the only way she'd know is if you told her. See, those church people are so psychotic. They would tell you a mean joke to make you giggle. And then say, let's kill her. I told a mean joke and she dared laugh. They're that psychotic. But she wouldn't even know of it if they didn't tell her. Because how would she? She wasn't there. Where I told you I started down at Blaylock's in 2010. It was fine at first. 2011. People were making up stories. I asked Dave, because I haven't went to that church in 8 years. They pushed my kid to suicide. And they thought I was following Tim and Katie, and it was Linda. I had nothing to do with those people. Wanted never to lay my eyes on them. I went over twice hoping somebody come up and say why they were making up stories of people I never talked to or had anything to do with. They didn't tell me. I didn't go back. Okay? Dave, if Dave and I, while he was still going to that church, if she would have walked by in the mall, if she said hello, we would have said hi as we walked by. We would have acknowledged her because he went to church there. We avoided her like the plague because since 2001, she'd been dating my brother-in-law Tim, and my sister won't say anything. She knows her husband's cheating. It's her decision to stay, not ours. Okay? So we stay out of it. But in 2011, he came home from his church, and he beat me and sexually assaulted me till I was bloody, and I broke free. And when I got cleaned up, I'm crying in tears. Why? He said, you'll learn to keep your filthy mouth shut. I said, filthy mouth shut? Danny just picked up the kids a few hours ago. Or an hour, less than an hour ago. It was just an hour ago. I've been sitting here waiting for you to get home. Filthy mouth shut for what? He looked like he was going to puke. Quit his church. Somebody lied to him. He came home and beat me. You realize how sick they are? Somebody who hadn't even talked to him got beat for no reason. Dave quit his church, and people had came up and they said Katie was making up stories that he moved out and was dating her. He's still at home. And I tell people, I don't know where you're getting that. He's still at home. And we went to walk in Macy's. And I said, Dave, are you cheating with that girl? It's 2011. He said, Karen, I'd rather kiss a cow spot than that fat, ugly heifer. Well, I giggled at his mean joke. We're in the back of Macy's, just walking in by the ladies' purses. Can she hear it down the mall? No. I said, Dave, are you cheating with that girl? He said, Karen, she's pathetic, making up stories for people's attention, making up stories that a married man would leave his wife. She's nothing but pathetic. Would she know that I giggled at his mean joke in 2011? In the back of Macy's, no. She wouldn't even have knowledge of it. He quit his church. Case didn't start since 18, where we would avoid her already because she was cheating with him when she made up stories on Dave. We walked on the other side of the kiosk. I go to the mall now. At times she's still working at her work. Police and FBI's watch me. Do I have anything to do with her? No. Didn't have anything to do with her then either. Didn't talk to her. I didn't go to her church. Don't have her phone number. Don't have her address. Had no communication. You know, your life, you can have one without that cold. And somebody can be at their job. You just don't shop at their store. You don't shop at their store. You have nothing to do with them. So we would even walk on the other side of the kiosk. And if we didn't get a chance to get on the other side of the kiosk, we didn't say a word. So she couldn't say we said anything. So like people have said, if she found out of Dave's mean joke that she dared laugh at his mean joke years before, he only told her about it so he could date her cousin. And she'd help kill her. And it was his joke. Why didn't kill Dave? It was his joke. Exactly. And they weren't around. Nobody was. Get the idea? That's how sick this is. Why are you stealing for her? Where people have announced they're stealing for her. They've acted like that prostitute that Agent John dates, the one part of the cartel. It's her cousin. The poor family that's in debt. She's in debt to a drug lord. Stole money from him, my God. Oh, and where there's been people out of town showing up looking for her, I bet with her bragging she stole $10,500,000 from the government. That Agent John stole it from my truck of some money to my informant money, gave it to her, and she stole money from the cartel. They were letting her work it off. I bet they want that money. They better not spend a dime of it. I want you to start thinking. Now, why would Katie deserve anything? Why would her cousin? Katie's rich. She owns a dairy farm. Has cows. Her sister and brother lives on the farm. Father-in-law, they tend to the horses and the cows. She could sell that farm for millions. She's not poor. Why would you steal for her? See, that's where, and then what is Melissa? Documented mean jokes. Where when the case first started, some guys that said they work for that drug lord, that's the fentanyl king. For we all work for the king from Texas. We are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. Okay? I want you to think about this. Some drug lord having his people run a scam on the FBI. Where those two guys said they worked for him. Melissa was going to help him get away with him. Willing to have the kids lie. They followed him around to find out what the lie was. Caught her friends with a prostitute. Was nice of you, Agent John, your girlfriend that's a prostitute. You were pimping her out to my husband so he'd go along with us. You're a prostitute and you're a prostitute. My God, you're nasty. And they got taped on Thanksgiving of 18 that they made everything up. They were games of pretend. Sick shit, I found out. And they wanted the house for that prostitute Peppa. Auntie Show and Papa, and then later on the floor, they made everything up. They were games of pretend. Laughing. They're documented me games of pretend, like Officer Mark said. Melissa could go to jail for this. I hate to arrest her, kids are little. Or just write it up. They were showing off for David and his new girlfriend. You're a prostitute. You prostituted my husband to get him to go along with this. Sicko. Like a guy showed up, what was it, June 28th, 26th, down in Carrollton. Found out what's going on today. No, that's funny. Showed up outside my work. That night, I found out there's a real FBI case. Found out they taped Melissa telling the kids a lie. The kids stating they made everything up for that girl that they're stealing everything for. That they were games of pretend. She better tell everybody she knows not to say a word to her ever again. That they were since they were taped by the police and the FBI in a real case, that they were lying for them to get the house. They wanted it for that girl. They better say it. And tell them never say a word to her again. They were just lying for that girl to get everything. And nobody say a word to her again or she's going to end up in jail. I found out there's a lady ready to arrest her. Said, I know about that lady. She's ready to pounce. Then you tell Melissa where she was taped telling the kids to lie. And the kids saying that they were lying in the basement and making everything up because they wanted that girl they're all stealing for to get that money. You make sure. That's what they say. Tell everybody and not to say a word. They were just making it up to help that girl. Or she's going to end up in jail. So why would you get money for mean jokes? Nobody, like, he even said, is that why there's no proof of anything? Just them saying it. He said, yeah, because they made it up. They made it up during the FBI case in front of them. For Melissa's so stupid, she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. It didn't check where you were. And then investigators repeatedly, like Officer John, what did those kids get tape stating? They made everything up. Maslin Police documented me games that pretend Stark County Sheriff's made fun of some guy named Kurt for falling for it. Okay? They're main jokes. Nobody got hurt. Nobody went to the hospital. There's no treatment for injuries. It's made up to scare me into giving up my house. Go to jail for that one, honey. Where Officer Mark said I'd hate to arrest her. Her kids are little. Write it up there just showing off for Dave and his girlfriend. So, Agent John, you're prostituted. You're nasty. Get my husband to go along with this. And, they had somebody impersonate my son, John. Showed back up May 24, 26. Myers, North Main. He in 18 when they said bring in the other John to help get away with this. Guy looks just like my son, but taller. Full beard, like he had at the time, walked by and put his nose up in there. We go to walk in Myers, North Main, May 24, 26. I said, we pull in and I said, Carl, look at that guy. He looks like the pretend John they used. He said, he does look like your son. I said, he's shaven now. But back then, he had a beard. It looks like that guy. Walking in with a white girl with black hair ahead of us. Guy behind us. Can you imagine the original police were here that worked a case? We're telling people here a couple years ago. It's ridiculous for anybody to insult her. She almost died to save children. And they knew everything was photoshopped on her. And this whole thing was a scam. How ridiculous it is for anybody to insult her. That guy walks up to me and goes, the pretend John, how'd it go years ago? Oh, yeah. And walks off. I thought, oh my God, it's you. The white girl with black hair picks up her phone. How dumb were they? Bringing the pretend John in to verify everything. You know, the whole thing was a scam. Oh, they're making fun of her because Agent John stole her money. See, that's where the cartel's laughing if I don't get paid. The cartel wants. Huh? Yep. For them defrauding their informant. That's where I offer to sign a willing worker thing, knowledgeable of my rights. You don't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. It's not in the court records. Court order. Because no judge could sign it. They would be signing their own arrest warrant. It's a jail sentence for an FBI agent if he tells an informant if they say something, they don't get their money, 20 years. It's a jail sentence for a judge. Pretty close to the same. It's blackmail. Freedom of speech. No one can take it away. A judge can only put a gag order on you to during a jury trial only. Nobody can take your freedom of speech away. It's a jail sentence for an FBI agent if he tells an informant they say anything they won't have protection. It's attempted murder. 20 to 30 years. What's a jail sentence for a judge signing it? Same. Under the color of the law, no one can take your rights away. Or did you think they could? So we're going to put it that way. My son John, where July 26, 25, an investigator from 18, I told that couple not to say a word to her. I interviewed John years ago. He said nothing bad happened to him. Investigator said that he was running around telling everyone that I had never hurt anyone. His electrician friends pull in June 3rd, 23, and say it real loud in a parking lot. He asked me to be a reliable name on a court record to watch his kids and pick them up and babysit them like a year or two after the case started, but I was working 2 jobs. Couldn't help him. Lost his kids, moved to Florida, met this new woman. They got married. They started a new church and they had a baby. Looks happier than ever. Had to get away from the cult. on Thanksgiving 18, that he, when I asked him what's going on, he didn't know. Melissa, just make it up from the divorce, but don't worry about it. Nobody can ever say anything bad about you. Don't worry about it. Totally defends me several times. Told the FBI nothing bad ever happened to him. Told all his electrician friends that I'd never hurt anyone, and it's just these people. Get the idea. Danny and Jen, lady investigator, had even asked them, well, the FBI, already knew they didn't know about button cameras from drug dealers. A shower scene in the other room, photoshopped. They knew I had bruises, throwing up, and almost passing out, but they didn't realize somebody was hurting me. Like Jen said, I didn't put it together because the thought of someone breaking in somebody's home and playing with them and hurting them is absurd, but it actually happens. We're going to put it that way. And the kids didn't know either. And they've even said it in front of Carl. We didn't know anything about button cameras. We didn't know anything about tape or Weird with Yourself. We knew she had bruises, throwing up, and almost passing out, though. We knew she was sick and had marks. See, that's where these people are so crazy. In 21, there's like 4 versions of the tapes before. 4 of them. And that's where a lady investigator said, I'm so tired of hearing of the tapes before. There's so many versions, it's not even funny. There's supposed to be a version of Drugs and Told to Say It. And the Photoshop naked in the shower, washing yourself in another room like nobody know. My God. Then there's supposed to be a tape of Photoshopped of washing in the shower with clothes on in the other room. They Photoshop clothes on me and then put it in the other room. That's asinine. You can touch any part of your body with clothes on. That's not wrong. You get bathing suits, get out of the pool, and what happens? You dry off. Front, chest, back, butt, in between. Dry off your legs and you sit down. Gymnast. Ice skaters. Guys, you can touch any dancers, singers. They get up and do dirty dances all the time. You can touch any part of your body with clothes on. It's not wrong. And see, that's just asinine. Then they said that they have a tape of me just simply brushing off water with clothes on. Nothing else. Nothing else. Just simply brushing. That's why nobody knew. And no wrong saying, no wrongdoing. People had so many different versions, it wasn't even funny in 21. Okay? And so we're going to talk about that bitch. And Officer John, Officer Mark, whatever sheriff's listening to me, you need to find out who that bitch was at my grandson Daniel's counselor, the one in the FBI office, who was in there for that one right. They don't have a right to go to people's doctors, counselors. Matter of fact, it is a HIPAA violation. In any attorney's office that is fishing for information on medical information, it is a federal crime of 10 years. Daniel, before he went in there, he was fine. I go to use the bathroom. There's some idiot in there for that well. What did she expect getting up, walking around after that family was grieving? What did she expect they do? Be good people and realize I had nothing to do with their father murdering their kid. They need to stop taking it out on innocent victims, you twit. And then talking how they're stalking me in my home. Nobody believes she has arthritis. We seen her run on a treadmill. For what, 4 or 5 minutes? Had to hold on to the bars. Why can't you run with arthritis? I took care of a complete handicapped girl that her arms were all turned in and her feet were really crooked. Her family wanted her on a treadmill. We're not physical therapists. This overzealous new house manager took her to a Y, put her on a treadmill, that little crooked baby, trying to get her to walk. She ended up pulling her back muscles. Can I run down the street? Yeah. Will it be perfect and straight? No. Will I be grateful if my knee don't pop out of place? Yes. Well, what happened after I ran on the treadmill for about 4 minutes? Came upstairs and my knee popped out of place. Been popping out of place like crazy since then. Too afraid to get back on it. But can you run with arthritis? Yes. Matter of fact, they encourage you to get out and walk. And it wasn't a run, it was a fast walk. And I was holding on to the bar so I wouldn't fall. And do I walk without canes and braces now? Yes. Why did I have to use cane and braces, dumbass? All the massive swelling. Fluid built up under my knees that would just push. With having arthritis, they just slid right out of place. Caught on an MRI. You know, you little fucking twits. Someone needs to arrest you. Daniel left there. He's rude. I said, when do you want to start practicing driving again? He said, I'll let you know when I'm ready. I said, what? He said, I'm tired of you picking at my life. When in a sweet kid came out of a rude, arrogant snot. And I said, Daniel, what is wrong? He said, I got a lot of things bothering me. I said, bothering you? I said, do you want to talk about it? Not with you. The next time he goes in that counseling, he comes out of there like that. He's not going back. I already told my son that. I said, that counselor was only to help him deal with the grieving of his father, the grandfather betraying everybody and taking off. Can't handle it. Broke his heart. And then all the lies of these people. You know, they told people I ran off with another man living a wild lifestyle. I'm not that lucky. I'm not that lucky. I was running for my life. And then the drug confessions, photoshopping, washing, mean games to pretend. I've told them, when you look at everything as a scam, and that's all it is by drug dealers. Big scam. Thought they could take it into the FBI and steal from them. You look at everything as a scam to get away with this so they could steal. He said, I needed, before this, he said, I needed to hear that. Melissa's kids are mean jokes. You didn't know about the shower scene in the other room. I know we did. Remember I had bruises, throwing up, almost passing out? I remember it like that. They were roofing me and telling me to say horrible stuff I found out and beat on me. He's letting drug dealers do it. There's no sense because he was dating an 18-year-old girl in the drug cartel. He didn't have a right to have those bastards touch me. And I said, and I ended up calling the FBI. The house was legally bugged in a case on Thanksgiving of 18. And Melissa got friends taped with that Michelle, the kids saying they wanted a house for her and that they were making everything up. Sick shit. I said I would have spanked them all if they would have been my kids. And they're documenting me jokes. And I said, she's gonna end up in jail. She don't cut it out. They already confronted her. They already taped them saying they're lying. Years ago. They're gonna put her in jail. And I said, as far as your grandfather, you need to forgive yourself for hating him and forgive him for betraying all of us and getting in drugs and going off with young girls in the drug cartel and then just fleeing the country. You gotta forgive him for his crimes. His mistakes are not ours. And you know what? He needed someone to talk rationality, that it's okay to live and be happy. He didn't control our happiness. He doesn't control our safety. He doesn't control who we become and where we live. He doesn't control anything. And realize it's okay to live and be happy. He told me he wasn't as scared anymore. And he needed to talk. He was starting to drive a car, practicing with him. Ever since he left that office, he won't leave his room. So you fucking will. I find out who you are, I'll let you know. You better hope the police arrest you because I'm going to the Bar Association and I'm going to tell them all your crimes, you lost your license, and then I'm going to sue you. You say you were a part of the people drug beating, raping me, I'm going to sue you for personal harm. I'm going to sue you for everything you got. And then I'm going to have my kids sue you because you taped them and their kids in the bathroom. And those drug dealers you hired, they sold us on porn site, including kiddie porn. And you were the one that was having me human trafficked, skull bashed in. And if you're the one that was out July 8th, 26th, that you made a person like me, a victim they picked out to run a drug scam, to make me live through complete horror, I'm going to sue you for that horror. Better hope they put you in jail because I'm going to sue you for everything you got. And that's a promise. I will get attorneys and see how far we can sue you, and I'm going to make sure you never hold a license again. I'm going to the Bar Association the first day and tell them your crimes. Get the idea. But where did you retards think if you have arthritis you can't run on a treadmill? Of course you can. Do you do good? No. Does it cause pain? Yes. And my knees start popping, I'm back out of place. Told you. Why did you not think you couldn't? Why couldn't I walk before? Because I have arthritis, and that time when you put swelling on it, the knees would slide out of place. Orthopedic surgeon ordered the braces and canes. A real agent went and talked to him, said that the orthopedic surgeon said it was the easiest fix for her with arthritis. Was the big braces and draining her knees and the canes. Keep her knees stable and her legs stable so she wouldn't fall. So she could tighten up all the muscles again. So you think you can just lie to manipulate everybody? Lie. And where did you think that because something bad happened to somebody else that I had nothing to do with, that they could wait 15 years, hunt me down, and have me killed? You do realize they, in an FBI office, admitted they hired people to kill me and were trying to have me killed because some idiot called me a faker 15 years before, confessed to a federal agent they were part of a murder plot. You do realize that, right? Because that agent, make sure he said it on the recorded line. And how they were trying to have me killed because that minister called me a faker. And who killed their kid? Her father did. I wasn't even there. And they had nothing to do with my 2.5 years of surgeries, muscles locking up, 2 years of medical malpractice, and almost a year of getting well. You know, the world don't stop because something bad happens to them. And it was their own family's fault. And I had nothing to do with it. And taking their anger out on somebody who wasn't even there. What was I, an easy target? Somebody nice that keeps to themselves and they could just hurt for a whipping boy? Huh? Because even like that prostitute said, that those drug dealers picked her out personally to do this to so they could steal from me. And not where the drug dealer said in 18, she's a perfect person. Perfect person to do this to. Nobody checks on her. Nobody calls her. Nobody comes and sees her. We can isolate her alone till we could take her somewhere or kill her and they wouldn't know she's gone till it's too late. It's not that they didn't care, but I've always been an independent person and they were just neglectful because we had moved 40 miles away and it wasn't convenient to stop in. Like that prostitute said, those drug dealers picked me out personally. Somebody they knew they could get away with this. So where the drug dealers picked me out, so where that Will guy, July 8th, 26, a person like her, one that the drug dealers picked out, picked out, picked out, picked out, to run a scam on. I'm tired of it. Do we understand? Some bitch got behind us in Burger King. I found out it was all wrote up as fraud on her medical records. You can't have my medical records, bitch. You can't have knowledge. You tell the FBI and police you have my medical records. They are to arrest you by HIPAA laws. It is a federal crime for an opposing attorney to get your medical records. They can never have them. They can't. Your doctors can't be willing to talk to them. You end up having them. It's 30, 40 years. You twit. The FBI and police already got them in 18. They told them everything was fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors, where those doctors almost killed me. They also got it out of Dave. He was letting another girlfriend use my insurance for 15 years. And she said something about saying something to Daniel about the tape of Weird With Yourself. I heard you behind me. That was you? Because I'll tell you what, my car's bugged. He already told the police and investigators they knew nothing. Nothing. And where the prostitutes said the drug dealers they hired to do this to her so they could steal for her, taped her in the shower washing herself, and photoshopped that in the other room to make fun of her. She even confessed drug dealers photoshopped it. Nobody knew about it. You hurt my little grandson's mind that was already hurting? Is that why he won't leave his room? See, they were running around offering tens of millions of dollars of extorted money from the government if they just lie. Got caught buying witnesses. I'll tell you what, they need to find out. That attorney's office cannot approach doctors. They cannot approach offices. They're not allowed there. This is federal crimes of the right of privacy over your medical information and records. If they have any knowledge or consent, they are without consent, knowledge of somebody's medical records. Who talked to you? Somebody can't be willing to talk to you. Both you lost your license. This is how it works. The attorney loses their license, disbarred forever. The doctor loses their license forever. 10 years federal sentences each. Steal records, 10. These are federal crimes. They can't break. What is a jail sentence for an attorney hired by a husband to set up buttons in a private home stalking his wife without her knowledge or consent? 5 to 20 years. Disbarment immediately. Right to privacy. You can't take my rights away. Let alone one that's hiring drug dealers. I'm going to upload this.